Matthew 27, verse 38. It says, at the same time, two robbers were crucified with Jesus. This is the Amplified Version. One on the right side, one on the left side. I'm considering this and I'm looking at the situation in this nation, and I'm talking to our President, His Excellency, William Samoei Ruto, and I'm like, when Jesus was being crucified, he was crucified with two robbers on either side. And permit me, Your Excellency, to use you in such a scenario to explain this, because I believe in this nation, it's time for revival. It's not time for revolution, but it's time for revival. And the reason God allowed you in that position at this time is because you can be able to help this nation in such a situation. It says at the same time, two robbers were crucified with Jesus, one on the right, one on the left. Now, forgive me, Your Excellency, if I call you a robber, but we know that the only perfect human being, Jesus, was the one who was sinless. But the moment Jesus took on the sin of the world, he had to die. Sin brings death, and we are all sinners. And is it that God is putting you in a scenario like this, where Jesus is there, Jesus being the righteous Son, he was crucified, and you have the chance to decide which one of the robbers are you? Because I feel like you are in a cross situation. Uko kwa msalaba, Your Excellency, and you got to choose which robber you are, because politically you seem to be almost dead, like these two robbers. So the decision you have to make is to choose which of the robbers are you going to be. Are you going to be the one who is proud and does not recognize the situation at that moment, does not even recognize that he is wrong, talks with a lot of pride and confidence, yet the situation is a death situation? Or are you going to be the other robber who is going to look at the situation and say, hey Jesus, I'm at this point. For sure, I'm a robber. But you know what? I'm not going to be proud. I'm going to accept my fate. I'm not going to accept this situation, and I'm going to use it for good. At that moment, he acknowledged Jesus Christ, who was nailed next to him. And it is profound how in his humility and in his submission, for sure that I deserve to be here because of being a robber. But God, do not forget me. Do not forget me. Humility. In this situation, Your Excellency, you keep on saying that our nation is in debt, our nation is in a bad place, our nation needs, a miracle. Could you be the one that God has put in that position to accept the truth for once, that this nation is being led by robbers and you are the top most robber? Are you going to be proud and say, I'm not a robber, I'm not guilty, I'm not wrong, and die? Because politically, unless God intervenes, unless God has mercy on you, you are politically dead. Are you going to accept your position and say, for sure, Kenya, I'm sorry, I have done this and this, and by that situation, revolutionize or transform what goes on after that? Because if, for example, you admit and say for sure, Kenyans, this is a very important time. I, as a leader, have failed you. I've allowed corruption. In fact, I've stolen this and this and this amount. I have taken this and this and this amount. I've stolen this land, whatever. And I'm sorry, and I want to give it back. And I ask God to forgive me. And I ask you, Kenyans, forgive me. And then you can even declare an amnesty for 1 year. Kama kuna watu wengine ambao wameiba, you can follow my example. Just give it back. Could you do such a thing? It could spark a revival, I believe. It could spark a revival. I believe, Your Excellency, God put you at that place for this situation. You get to choose which of the two robbers you are. Yes, they will crucify you. They can even impeach you. They can even prosecute you for being a thief. But, well, Jesus died. The two robbers died. Politically, I don't know, unless God has mercy on you, you are dying. But can you make that death significant for this nation so that instead of a revolution that does not help us and people die, we have a revival and people learn that, we are a nation of thieves and the biggest thief has repented. We can also follow that and repent. I think that will be amazing. So, Your Excellency, my challenge to you today, which of the robbers in Matthew 27:38 are you? Are you going to be proud and say no? Or are you going to be the humble one and say, hey, Jesus, you've given me an opportunity. I can take hold of this opportunity and use it to spark something that will be amazing. It might lead to your death. Oh, it most likely will, politically at least. But God is a God who takes dead situations and makes them live. Jesus died. He was sinless and he died. You will definitely die politically because of guilt. But on the third day, Jesus resurrected. If you were to take that route, possibly God could resurrect you politically and spark such a wave in this nation like we've never seen before. I'm praying for you. I believe in you. I'm doing a fast from 1st of June for 7 days to pray for you that God may help you on that cross that you are on right now. May you make the right choice. Which robber are you going to be? Your Excellency, William Samoei Ruto. I'm praying for you guys. I'm praying for Kenya. I'm going to fast and pray for you. Samuel prayed for Saul, that you're going to make the right decision. Don't be like Saul. Choose wisely. God can use you to spark something that has never been seen in this country. You got to choose which robber are you. Be blessed.